In this video we are going to talk about top 5 most favorite games in US. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. Worldwide we've by and large downloaded in excess of 70 billion portable applications such a long ways in 2022, and the greater part of them are games. While applications at last outperformed games in the US unexpectedly as far as income, actually both worldwide and in both the US, games are by far most of cell phone downloads and enormously huge regarding portable income. Here are the rundown of most loved games in United States. Number 5. PUBG. PUBG is one of the most sensible web-based game. It is one of the most famous game played on the planet. The game here round two groups with two match where 100 individuals will be there and they need to kill each other securely and carefully, and players should remain alive till the finish of the match. Toward the end, in the event that they win, they will get victor, winner chicken dinner. Likewise, player can go into the match as a performance, couple, or with a group. PUBG is a player versus player shooter game in which dependent upon 100 players take on in a conflict royale, a kind of huge scope soul survivor deathmatch where players battle to stay the last alive. It's up to you to poly the match solo, couple, or with a little group of up to 4 players. The last individual or group alive dominates the game. The plane's flight way across the guide changes with each round, expecting players to rapidly decide the best opportunity to launch and parachute to the ground. Players start with no stuff past tweaked clothing choices which don't influence interactivity. When they land, players can look through structures, apparition towns and different locales to track down weapons, vehicles, defensive layer, and other gear. These things are procedurally disseminated all through the guide toward the beginning of a match, with specific high-risk zones regularly having better equipment. Killed players can be plundered to obtain their stuff as well. Players can select to play either from the first individual or third individual point of view, each enjoying their own benefits and disservices in battle and situational mindfulness. However, server explicit settings can be utilized to compel all players into one viewpoint to dispose of some advantages. Number 4. Fortnite Battle Royale. Fortnite Battle Royale is an adventurous video game in which 100 individuals meet up with one another for their most memorable position. The game is one of the most well-known games with around 5 million concurrent players. In this game, you want to construct some sort of walls and gather some deterrent or another wellspring of components. You can enter in a game as a performance or with different gatherings. Players can utilize their pickaxe to thump down existing designs on the guide to gather fundamental assets that are wood, block, and metal. Consequently, in all modes, the player can utilize these materials to construct fortresses, like walls, floors, and steps. Such stronghold pieces can be altered to add things like windows or entryways. The materials utilized have different solidness properties and can be refreshed to more grounded variations utilizing more materials of a similar sort. Inside Save the World, this empowers players to make guarded strongholds around a goal or trap-filled passages to draw husks through. In Battle Royale, this gives the resources to rapidly cross the guide, shield oneself from adversary fire, or to postpone a propelling enemy. Players are urged to be exceptionally imaginative in planning their strongholds in creative. Fortnite is dispersed as 3 different game modes, utilizing a similar motor. Each has comparative designs, workmanship resources, and game mechanics. Fortnite Save the World is a player versus climate helpful game, with 4 players teaming up towards a typical objective on different missions. The game is set after an accident storm shows up across Earth, making 98% of the populace vanish, and the survivors to be gone after by zombie-like husks. Fortnite Battle Royale is a player versus player game for up to 100 players, permitting one to play alone, in a pair, or in a crew, as a rule comprising of 3 or 4 players. Weaponless players airdrop from a fight bus that crosses the game's guide. Fortnite Creative is a sandbox game mode, in which players are given finished opportunity to produce anything from the Battle Royale game mode on an individual island, and can make games, For example, fight fields, race courses, platforming difficulties. And that's just the beginning. Number 3. Apex Legends. Peak Legends is a multiplayer mode game where up to 23-man crews land on the island and they need to look for certain weapons and supplies to one more player in battle while moving external the play region. They should be protected as they can't catch up on the latest, and when in the end any last group is alive they dominate the match. Zenith Legends is an online multiplayer fight royale game highlighting crews of 3 players utilizing pre-made characters with unmistakable capacities, called Legends, like those of legend shooters. Alternate modes have been presented considering single and for 2-player crews since the game's release. The game is allowed to play and adapted through microtransactions and plunder boxes, which permit the player to spend both genuine cash and in-game money on surface-level things, like outfits for the legends and new varieties for weapons. Each match by and large elements 20 groups of 3-player crews. Players can join companions in a crew or can be coordinated haphazardly with different players. Before the match, every player on the crew chooses one of the 21 playable characters, as of Season 13, with the special case that no person might be chosen at least a couple of times by a crew. Each person in the crew has a novel plan, character, and capacities that give different playstyles to the group. All groups are then put on an airplane that disregards the game guide. One player in every crew is the jump master, choosing when the crew ought to skydive out of the airplane and where to land with the simultaneousness of the other crew individuals. Be that as it may, players are allowed to stray from the crew's way. Number 2. League of Legends, LOL. Clash of Legends is quite possibly of the most seasoned game, yet it's as yet perhaps of the most loved game one could play and appreciate due to their mode scene, movement, and various illustrations, and each level is something else. In this game individuals function collectively and they need to obliterate some center structure which is safeguarded by the foe's group structures. Player control a few characters known as the need might arise to decide for each match. The match goes on for 20 to 50 minutes normal. In the game, 2 groups of 5 players fight in player versus player battle, each group possessing and safeguarding their half of the guide. Every one of the 10 players controls a person, known as a champion, with novel capacities and varying styles of play. During a match, champions become all the more impressive by gathering experience focuses, procuring gold, and buying things to overcome the rival group. In League's fundamental mode, Summoner's Rift, a group wins by pushing through to the foe base and obliterating their nexus, an enormous construction situated inside. Clash of Legends has gotten commonly certain audits. Pundits featured its availability, character plans, and creation esteem. The game's long life expectancy has brought about a basic reappraisal, with surveys moving decidedly. The negative and oppressive in-game way of behaving of its players, censured since right off the bat in the game's lifetime, endures in spite of Riot's endeavors to fix the issue. Number 1. Division 2. Division 2 is a multiplayer online activity pretending computer game. The players need to help out one another to finish targets. Division 2 component should be finished by 8 players, which is the new adaptation when contrasted with the past one. In the start of the game, players make their own division specialist by tweaking the person's orientation and appearance. In the game, players are furnished with various guns, including attack rifles, expert marksman rifles and submachine firearms, and explosives like projectiles to overcome foes. These weapons are characterized into various levels and extraordinariness. Top-notch firearms are challenging to get, yet they have better weapon details and gifts that further assist with supporting players' presentation. It got commonly positive surveys from pundits, with most noticing it as an improvement over the principal portion for its setting, ongoing interaction, visuals, battle and soundtrack. However, the endgame content enraptured pundits. Like its ancestor, it was a business achievement, selling more than 10 million duplicates overall regardless of not living up to assumptions at send-off. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, Be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.